Welcome, everybody, to I Dated Who. My name is Elmira. I am your host. Always on this show, we give you stories, dating stories that are comical, most of all with a lesson. And I'll tell you up front, my computer, this Zoom was like not trying to work. I guess it didn't want this story to be told, but this one is probably going to be a quick one. I want to tell the time I was in love with a dread-headed teacher. Okay, so let's flash back. I was what, maybe 23, 24, 25, straight out of, I don't know why I'm thinking straight out of Compton, but straight out of college. Um, and I had gotten this gig working for this company in Richmond called University Tutors, where I was able to do one-on-one tutoring plus in classroom teaching. And I was hired, I was selected for the algebra readiness program, which meant I got to teach ninth graders math. And I was at both JFK and Armstrong High School. We're not really going to talk about, I just had to give you the premise, the foundation of the setting. So here I am at the school. I don't remember, I think it was Armstrong where I met this guy, Walter. He was one of the other teachers. He didn't do algebra readiness. I don't even remember what he taught. I think it was English. But of course, he caught my eye. This was another case you might remember from a previous story. I was so hung up on men who reminded me of my dad. He reminded me of my dad. He had locks. He was a musician. He was cute, skin tone, dark skin tone. I was like, okay, here I am again, enamored with this type of man. And so that was it. I said I just had a crush on him, and it's funny as these I dated who stories bring back so many memories, things I had pushed to the back of my mind, to the back of my heart. The students would always say, "Oh, Miss Lofton, Mr. Clark, Miss Lofton, Mr. Clark, Miss." I guess maybe they were picking up on the fact that I had a crush on him and he was willing to play into it. He was that kind of suave player type. But I gotta tell you some of the things that went wrong with this, and it was all on me. This was nothing on him. It was just who I was at the time. I was not living in my full power, my full identity, my full purpose. I don't think I ever went out on a date with this guy. And what I mean by date, he never asked me to go in public with him anywhere. We didn't go to a restaurant. We didn't go here. I distinctly remember him meeting him over somebody's house. Now I'm reflecting back. I'm like, whose house was this? It was, I don't know if he was, the house looked like nobody was living there. I don't know if he was house sitting or what, but I distinctly remember he said, come over, meet me. And I had recently, probably within a year or two, got my car because I did not start driving until I was 24. I bought my red Mercury Cougar. I love that car, Mercury Cougar with the moonroof. He also had a Mustang. It was a Mustang or some other type of sports car. I definitely was a Mustang. Somebody watching this will remember because y'all know the story too. Um, yeah, so I went over that house and I just remember him urging me to participate, engage in oral sex. And I remember that day distinctly. Like I said, no date. He ain't give me no food. We ain't go nowhere. We ain't go bowling. We ain't do nothing. He ain't buy me no flowers. It was just like, Elmira, show up. He's text me or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm there. And that was me. I can recall another situation too, because he lived on the south side of Richmond or Chesterfield. Yeah, let's just call it South Side with his roommates. So there was two or three of them in the house together. He had invited me over there one night and here I am because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so special just to be invited." He didn't invite me for nothing. Because it could have been he invited me on vacation and he was paying for the whole thing. That wasn't even it. He invited me to come over there and cook for them. And who agreed to it? Elmira. I agreed to it. I recall leaving because I was still staying at home with my mom. I recall leaving the house with a mini skirt on because I'm like, oh, I'm going to dress all sexy for him and cook for him and we're going to make the food. Like, y'all think about this. I was basically going over there to be a servant. Like, think about it. They could have paid me. I was a private chef for them, all of them. I ain't get paid. Nothing. Had to use my gas, my food, my just treating a man in this way. And here's one of the lessons because this is for anybody. Gifts, I don't want to say that gifts should be in reciprocity, but relationships, friendships, partnerships, anything should be in reciprocity. There should never be one person giving their all and getting nothing in return. I didn't get nothing. And you might say, oh, he gave you a kiss, he gave you affection, he gave you admiration. No, he played on me because again, I'm taking responsibility, I'm taking accountability. I allowed this. My level of consciousness, my heart at the moment, because I was not healed from my father, because it wasn't until years later after I graduated massage school that I was able to forgive my dad. I was still holding on to the hope of, oh yeah, I can do this. So I selected men, I dated men, I went for men who treated me the same way, who abandoned me, who didn't give full care and attention to my needs, but they knew, they instinctively could pick up on the energy I was given, which said, oh, she's gonna give everything. Let me play on her. Little girl, she's 24. She don't know no better. And I remember, I'm talking about this miniskirt situation, but I also remember when I would go to school. I always dressed to the nine, but when I was teaching that particular job, I wore suits. I'm talking two piece. I had a burgundy suit, a two-piece skirt, amazing. I had like navy blue and charcoal. And again, I was driving my red Mercury Cougar. You couldn't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Because nobody could tell me nothing. Here I am at the school. And them students, but this goes to show my level of maturity too. If this was me in that school now, I would have been so much better. But I had no business. I had the aptitude, but I didn't have the life experience to manage the classroom the way I could now. Because they would, them and I had mostly boys. They would run over me like it was nobody's business. I remember having conversations with the head of the math department and stuff like that, about their behavior, because it was, again, it was all on me. This story is about me. As you think about who you dated and you reflect on them, never blame the man, don't blame the woman. Say, where was I in my life at that moment in time? Why did I select them? Why did I pick them? Why did I do that? What made me engage in that? What lesson did I learn? What did I get from this? I don't know if it was that same night I went over there with the mini skirt and to make the food, but we had a terrible hurricane brewing in Virginia, in Richmond. It was Hurricane Isabel. Anybody remember Hurricane Isabel? You know what I'm talking about. I was there. Mm, the night prior, because I was there in his bed and listening to, okay, the it's starting to thunder, it's raining, it's, I'm like, I think it might be a good idea for me to get out of here. this is not this is not the place for me to be. He would, this was another gentleman who would say things like, I talked about this in another story. You need to loosen up, you need to open up, you need to do this. And I can agree looking back at it, but probably what that meant was you need to give me even more. I don't need to give you even more than what I gave you. What I gave you is far more than enough because you ain't giving me nothing in return. About the storm Isabel, I know I was able to get out of there at, I don't know, before the storm hit because that storm was horrible. We, and in New Kent, our lights got knocked out. We ended up staying at my aunt's apartment. I don't know how many days I was over there. I wrote a poem about Isabel and stuff like that. This guy, I wrote this down too. I would take him treats to school, something like something mint cookies or brownies or something, and like, like taking this man some food, he eating it. So I taking him to his classroom so that of course the kids are like, ooh, Miss Lofton, Mr. Clark. It wasn't even that serious in the grand scheme of things. We were not together. It was just, if you want to call it hookup, because that's really what it is. It was not a relationship at all. But at the time I saw it as a sense of freedom. I saw it as somebody is paying attention to me. Somebody sees something in me. Somebody besides me sees my beauty, and it's another man because my dad was not giving me that. So I had to figure it out on my own and say, oh, well, if he's not going to do it, I'm going to find somebody else to do it. Just goes to show you where your heart can be. It's not so much your head, because I've always been intelligent, and this was an intelligent guy. No, nothing, no slack against him, but he was not the man for me. He did not genuinely choose me. He was choosing the situation. He was choosing to receive from somebody who was willingly giving him something for nothing. Watch out for that in your life, in your dating relationships, because you can feel it. But if you're broken and you're not over whatever things you need to heal, it could be rejection, abandonment, heartbreak, grief, any number of things. Oh, lack of love from your mother, lack of love from your father. All of those things could be existing in your field of energy. And the people that you meet, a friend, a prospective partner, a date, is picking up on that, and they are playing on you. They can manipulate you easily, and you have no sense of awareness about it because you don't know any better. You don't, like me, I didn't have a whole lot of dating advice or dating experience until I just jumped out in the field. I took the risk. I took the risk with this guy, Walter. I took the risk. I willingly did that. I say it all the time on this broadcast. I chose the date. And nobody forced me. Nobody twisted my arm to go over the house that night and cook for the man. Because think about this. Like, think about how dangerous this is. Like, I'm the only woman in this house full of all of them. And I didn't feel any sense of danger because that's something I've always been able to pick up on was this going to be physically dangerous for me? Now, I'm not saying it wasn't emotionally dangerous, but I kind of knew, okay, me driving over here all the way from New Kent, the south side of Richmond, at night, mind you, because I think I left the house maybe like 8 o'clock. It's dark. I know it was dark because I remember walking out the door and my mom sitting at the kitchen table. I remember that. I could have been, I could have been assaulted. I could have been, but I was not. Because, as I said, I'm always protected. You are always protected. But I was in the house with all the men and one woman cooking for them. For what? I guess I wanted to eat too. When you think about it, it's like I wanted, but I also wanted something different. I wanted attention. I'll say this, I didn't get the attention I needed or desired from my mom or my dad. So when somebody said, "Oh, Elmira, we're giving you just an inkling of attention," I went for it. That's what we all do because we as humans want connection, we want love, we want somebody saying, "We're cute, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're gorgeous." And when we get that small intention, it feels like the world, it feels like gold, it feels like I'm in love. But in the reality of it, yes, that person is showing you friendship, they're showing you love, but it's down here on the totem pole when what you truly need and deserve is up here. Yeah, that is my story about how I dated. I think I called him the dread-headed teacher. I mean, that is the story. All of the lessons I already shared. This has been I Dated Who. Stay tuned because we always got a story for you. Until next time, I will see you then. Peace.